Good afternoon, I am Cadet Zachary Branner, your PL. This is the operations order for Operation Hercules Fate. Please take out any riding gear and please hold your questions until I finish. Situation, so the area of interest is Rockbridge County and the area of operation is AO Pacific. In specific, we have named area of interest, iron. So to the north is the Maury River, which runs right here. To the south, to the south of AO Pacific, we have MSR Nelson and MSR 11. But to the south of our named area of interest, we just have the 84th measurement right here. And to the west, we have the 37th easting. And then to the east, we have the 38th easting. And the Maury River runs up northwest and down southeast. Parallel to the river are three critical routes. Route Panther, it's right here. Route Chiefs and Route Seahawk. Key terrain. So key terrain 1 is Maury Heights, which is the grid coordinate 17S Papa Bravo 3715 8423. And then other really important places to talk about is the company Alpha Alpha, the casualty collection point, and the helicopter landing zone Swan, which are all located at 17S Papa Bravo 3733 8406. So OCOC, observation and fields of fire. So the best fields of fire are on trails Route Chiefs, Route Seahawk, and Route Panther. Those are the best observation and fields of fire. Avenues of approach. So along the routes that I just mentioned and the intervisibility lines running perpendicular to the Maury River, those will be the best avenues of approach. And key terrain, mentioned before, Maury Heights, located at 17S Papa Bravo 3715 8423. And obstacles and movement. So the Maury River, and the Maury River is good, good for obstacles and movement because of its low depth to allow crossing. And then cover and concealment. So as mentioned before, the intervisibility lines scattered throughout the microterrain. The weather is going to be a high of 62 and a low of 31. Wind from the north at 6 miles per hour. Gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. 75% chance of rain with 1 inch of precipitation and heavy clouds. For visibility, you can see 75 to 100 meters in the restricted terrain, which is pretty much all of this. And then at night, the visibility will be 30%. Also note, down here, you can see the elevation change in the terrain map. So basically, the Maury River is at a low point, and these trails kind of go on this big hill. And the company Alpha Alpha, HLZ Swan, and the casualty collection point are at a low elevation. Which is a big hill with very dense forest, and so these trails will go right through those. And that sums that up. And enemy forces. So for enemy forces, there's been constant offensive contact with LPA forces. We have driven them north of the Maury River, so up in this area. Location, the north side of the Maury River, and a platoon size element, infantry element, is anywhere in AO Pacific. And that's what this signifies right there. So platoon size infantry unit. And intelligence suggests that a platoon size element has moved into AO Pacific in the last 24 to 48 hours. The location is unknown, but they're anywhere in AO Pacific, and specifically the 3 named area of interest. And for us, that is named area of interest iron, which is located at 17S Papa Bravo 3734 8425. There's a concern that the enemy forces can mass to a bigger size for a future offensive attack. Composition. The platoon is made up of 1 squad as an HQ and 3 squads consisting of 7 to 8 men. Disposition. There has been enemy activity, like mentioned before, in NAI iron, NAI copper, and NAI steel. And the enemy is armed with AK-47s, RPGs, and RPKs. Reserves. LPA platoon has another platoon acting as reinforcements north of the Maury River. They can be in AO Pacific in 15 minutes. They will most likely show up if we take out an entire squad worth of enemies. Now note, NAI iron is really close to the Mari River, so that could be faster for the reinforcements since we are the closest named area of interest to the Mari River. Friendly forces, so 2 levels up, 1st Brigade Command, 1 level up, Blue Ridge Battalion, and AO Marshall. Adjacent units, so to the west we have Bravo Company, to the south Delta Company for reserves, and to the east Alpha Company. And then also it's safe to mention, specifically, 2nd Platoon will be in named area of interest Copper, and 3rd Platoon will be named area of interest Steel. So the mission, Mission. 1st Platoon will conduct an area recon no later than 1800 on the 24th of November in order to report disposition, strength, and location of enemy positions. This will ensure intelligence needed to conduct future offensive operations against the LPA enemy forces. We will also report any enemy forces patrols along Route Seahawk, Route Chiefs, and Route Panther. We will establish a patrol base to prepare for follow-up missions in the vicinity of grid location 17S Papa Bravo 3724-8414. Again, the mission. 1st Platoon will conduct an area recon no later than 1800 on the 24th of November in order to report disposition, strength, and location of enemy positions. This will ensure intelligence needed to conduct future offensive operations against the LPA enemy forces. We will also report any enemy forces patrolling along Route Seahawk, Route Chiefs, and Route Panther. We will establish a patrol base to prepare for follow-up missions in vicinity of grid 17S Papa Bravo 3724-8414. So that's the patrol base right there. Execution. So the commander's intent is to determine disposition, strength, and composition of LPA forces on south side of the Mari River, so everything below the Mari River, and provide intelligence needed for future offensive operations against LPA forces. The end state, the disposition, strength, and location of LPA forces are known, and Charlie Company remains 100% combat power. Key tasks. So recon a possible enemy patrol base anywhere in Maury Heights. So anywhere out here. Complete a full recon of Maury Heights to determine the size and disposition of LPA forces in the area. Concepts of operation. It's to gather intelligence through a platoon level area reconnaissance in order to set the stage for future offensive operations. So for phase 1, planning and prep, that will start when we receive the order and it will end when the platoon crosses the line of departure. So the line of departure is signified through the circle around the company Alpha Alpha. So basically that circle signifies the perimeter of the company Alpha Alpha, and once we leave that perimeter, that's the line of departure. And it will also end, phase 1 will also end when we complete the rehearsals needed. Phase 2 is movement, so it will start once the platoon crosses the line of departure and away from company Alpha Alpha, and it will end once we are active in NAI iron and the leader's recon is complete. So then phase 3 is the execution part. It'll start when the leader's recon is complete, and it will end when the RNS teams return to the release point. And during this time, 1st Platoon will conduct an undetected recon at NAI iron and collect priority intelligence requirements. Phase 4 is reorganization. It will start once we have returned to the release point. It will end once the patrol base has been established. So scheme of maneuver, phase 1 will start when we receive the order. Each soldier will be issued 30 rounds of 5.56 ammunition. Each saw will be issued 400 rounds of ammunition, and each 7.62 weapon will be issued 100 rounds of ammunition. And as mentioned before, 2nd Platoon will be an NAI copper, and 3rd Platoon will be an NAI steel. 30 minutes following the receiving of the order, we have key leader rehearsals, and we have a platoon level communication exercise, a radio rehearsal, and we also need, as a platoon and squad level, we have to have rehearsals in the company Alpha Alpha of rehearsing reactive contact and also breaking contact. Breaking contact is very important. The CCP is at the company Alpha Alpha, which is located at the same grid coordinate 17S Papa Bravo 37338406, and helicopter landing zone Swan is located 50 meter, so you see right there, helicopter landing zone Swan, that is the same vicinity of company Alpha Alpha. Phase 2, which is the movement phase, that'll start once we cross the line of departure. Conduct an undetected leader's recon of NAI iron, and it ends when that recon is done. And phase 3, the execution phase, starts after the leader's recon and ends after we return to the release point after the area recon. And if there is contact, we break contact and return to the company Alpha Alpha. If there is a casualty, we either evacuate the casualty without compromising the recon unit, or detach a small unit to return the casualty back to the company Alpha Alpha. And then phase 4 starts once we return to the release point, and basically we put together all of the reports and things that we found out during the recon, and we establish our patrol base. Priority intelligence requirements. So what we need to figure out on this recon, we need to answer these questions. What is the size of the enemy elements near Maury Heights? What is their disposition of enemy forces within named area of interest iron? What is their location? Are there any indicators of enemy forces massing to sizes greater than a platoon size element? What weapon systems are being utilized by the enemy? And are any vehicles being utilized by the enemy? Reports required to the CO. He wants a hard sketch on what is learned and seen, or what is learned, seen, and observed. A radio in once we cross the line of departure. Radio into the company Alpha Alpha if there's any enemy contact. A salute report from NAI iron. Prisoner of war reports, status of ammo and casualties and equipment, and a radio into the company Alpha Alpha once we establish our patrol base. So a brief timeline. So at 1300, that will be the end of the company OPORD brief, and at 1400, we'll do the company communication exercise, begin platoon rehearsals, squad rehearsals. And at 1415, that's our company's key leaders rehearsal. 1530 is when we will cross the line of departure. 1550 is when we occupy the ORP and begin leaders recon, and 1600 is when we do the leaders recon, but we have to be completed by 1630, and that is when we will start the area recon, which will be complete by 1800, and then by 1815, that is when the patrol base needs to be established. Critical rehearsals, movement, formation, and technique to named area of interest iron. Movement, formation, and technique after arriving to named area of interest iron. How we will operate once we have reached the release point, and how the RNS teams will move, and also breaking contact when we have received contact. That's one of the most important things. Sustainment, weapon maintenance, we complete that before we step off out of company Alpha Alpha. Transportation, that'll all be on foot. Supply per soldier, 1 MRE and 2 quarts of water. Ammo issue is the same as I mentioned earlier. And medevac, there is no ambulance exchange point deemed safe in NAI iron. So the PL will call up line 9 if needed, or 9 line if needed. Platoon CCP located 40 meters south of intersection between Route Chiefs and Route Seahawk. It's right here actually. Close, this should be like right around there. Right near this intersection. Command signal, succession of command for the platoon level. You got first PL, you got platoon sergeant, you got second PL, second platoon sergeant, so on and so forth. Company Alpha Alpha location is the same as mentioned before, 17S Papa Bravo 37338406. Call signs, The call signs will be, so Cold Steel 7, that's first sergeant, higher up. Cold Steel 1-6, that's first PO, which is myself. Cold Steel 2-6, second PO. Cold Steel 3-6, it's third PO. The number combo will be 7. The challenge and password will be fire and baton. The running password will be thunder. And the signal for if they're close will be a PT belt on person. And then a signal for if they're far away will be the PT belt over the head. Thank you.